There we go. Hey, folks.
Hey.
How's everyone?
Doing pretty well.
Outstanding. Very good. Very good. Welcome to my home. I'm Dr. Mark Hatala, and today we're going to be talking about the jobs that we've had. Either our first, our best, or our worst, or some combination of those. But why don't we get started with introductions, if you guys would like to introduce yourselves.
I am Annie.
I'm Ashley.
Hi, I'm Zach.
I'm Maddy.
I'm Will.
Very good. Who would like to get us started? Because we've all, I checked already, we've all had jobs before. Mm-hmm. And so summer or otherwise. Who would like to go first then?
I guess I can start
Please,
with this.
Will.
I've worked a number of different weird jobs and whatnot. I worked at Toys R Us before it went under, so that was a thing. I work at Denny's now, but I would say both, probably my worst job and my first job. I worked at a tree nursery.
Okay.
And working outside, in the summer. And maybe I shouldn't say it's the worst as much as I should say it was physically the hardest and the most draining. Yeah, I would say, like I said, first job ever, so I don't necessarily know, all the different things at this point. And I had started working it in the spring. I only would work on Saturdays because the only days off from high school.
Uh-huh.
But then summer, it was every day except for Sundays. So even on Saturdays, it was waking up at 7 in the morning, going to about 5 p.m.
So a nice way to spend your summer.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I made a lot of money, and then I had never had time to spend it, so it was probably my most profitable job I ever had because I was too exhausted to ever go out and spend it.
Nice.
I think it taught me a lot. I would never go back to it, but it did teach me a lot about working.
Yeah.
So it was a good first job, also because it's a very good first job to have. Most boring was Toys R Us, easily.
Okay.
Absolutely most boring job. I was miserable. Denny's is actually my favorite. I like being a waiter. It's time flies by much faster. You make good tip money most of the time, I think. Especially if you work at night with the drunks. Good tip money.
I'm one of those drunk.
Yeah. So I would say well, of course, this is my favorite job.
Oh, please.
No.
Very good. Being a student is wonderful. Who would like to go next?
Sure.
Absolutely. Zach?
Yeah, my current job, what I'm doing is proctoring mathematics exams for our prestigious university. Mm-hmm. And really what that's taught me is I have no capability whatsoever to just sit still and do nothing with myself.
It's valuable knowledge, though.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And that's what I know now.
Okay. Yeah.
I've worked
Ashley, please.
probably too many jobs in my life. Every place that I go, I work a different job because, I don't work in chains very often. I've been a waitress, I've been a nanny, I've been a telecaller for our university, a student researcher, lots of things. Mm-hmm. I'd say that my favorite job, I feel like I enjoyed them all though. I liked learning new things. My favorite job is probably one that I'm still working. I work over long breaks at a banquet hall in my the place where my parents live. And it is so cool because it's weddings and I work I don't go out on the weekends, but it's nice to watch other people go out on the weekends, and I'm not a very wallflower type person. Very rarely am I not somebody who is talking to people or interacting in some way in the community. So being in a position where as a waitress at somebody's wedding, you're not there to socialize.
Right.
But then it means that people watching is so successful because you can stand there 5 feet away from people and they will pretend you don't exist. It's fantastic. I can't tell you how much drama and fun things that I've heard, how many crazy dancers, the expression dance like nobody's watching. I feel like you only really see that at weddings. And then I just love the concept of love as just in general, and everybody's so happy at wedding receptions, you know, like there's definitely drama. I've seen my fair share of like familial fights and stuff, but like, you know, generally speaking, at your wedding reception, there's just lots of love and happiness and like flirting, and it's just so cute to watch.
I teach our a romantic relationships class, and the data would completely agree with you. The happiest day of their people's marriage is usually the first day. And so, outstanding.
And it's just so nice.
Yeah.
I will go next. I haven't had too many jobs. My first job was just a host at a restaurant. Pretty typical, I think. But the job I just had this past summer, and I'm considering going back to this summer, was at a Zipline / high ropes course.
Okay.
Ooh.
And so much fun. Like, it's very physically exhausting because the way we lock the course up and stuff, you have to send zip lines every morning. You have to go through the course at the end of the day. Sometimes people get stuck and you have to go up there and like pull them out, and you know, it's never the kids getting stuck. Sometimes the bigger people who maybe they're not as physically active.
Sure.
Getting stuck.
It's embarrassing for them though, isn't it?
It's hard for people to do. I mean, it's up really high too.
Yeah.
So people get scared. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It taught me a lot about like responsibility and just taking the initiative in like situations like that, because you can like see when somebody's about to fall or like have a problem, and like you have to go there and really like talk them through things. So it helped me kind of be able to like very specifically be like, okay, left hand on the rope that's on your shoulder right now or something, you know.
You have to be really explicit.
Yeah. It was important too because it's a lot of people's safety, and a lot of people are like going outside of their comfort zone, so they're putting a lot of trust in you. But the environment, just like being outside all day, and it's summer, but I mean the hours were probably like 8 to 4 or something like that, maybe 10 to 4. So it really wasn't bad, but I made a good amount of money.
What's the likelihood you'll do it this upcoming summer?
Well, it depends on what my internship possibilities and like opportunities are this summer. If I'll go that way or not.
Very good.
So.
I'll go next. My first job was as an umpire in Pee Wee games.
Nice.
And I got paid $5 per game. And for that money, I had parents yell at me constantly. But it taught me to stand up for myself. My worst job is very easy. That was working at my dad's company. I didn't work for my dad. I worked for a guy who worked under my dad. And my colleagues, one guy was named Mean Mountain Dean, and he was kind of a mountain man. And all I did all day was, if you took metal shop in high school, that was my job. I drilled out pieces of aluminum and then passed on to the next one. It was the dirtiest job and dangerous job. I still have nicks in my eye because who wears safety goggles? But wow, that was an awful job. And I had to do it from 15 till 22. My dad made me work at the company because he was like, well, if college doesn't work out for you, then you have a skill. You could be a tool and die maker. And I was like, Dad, that's the last thing I want to do. I want to dance. My best job was the job after I graduated from college. My parents let me do whatever I wanted. And I worked as a bus driver at a daycare, or a day camp. And so I just played with children all day. And that's the best job you could possibly have. Maddy, how about yourself?
Okay, so the first job I had was working like the cashier at Bellacino's. It's like this pizza restaurant / ice cream shop, sort of. It has like both. So I would just do the register and I would scoop ice cream. And it was a pretty good job. Yeah, it was a pretty good job, except for, the occasional sexual harassment.
I'm sorry.
But then I moved on in my life and I became a lifeguard, and that was my worst job. I hated being a lifeguard because it is the most boring thing.
I would think it would be fantastic.
No, it's not. It's just not. You think it seems glamorous, and then you sit on that stand all day just staring at one zone of water, and you're like, someone drown, someone do something, I want to get in. Like, not actually, but you're like, if someone just could do one thing so I could tell them no or something, like.
Did you have any saves?
I did have a save. That was
Well, then
a little bit
that's
traumatic.
good.
But I also had a really bad experience where I had a heat stroke and passed out off the stand because they didn't like really give us enough time in like the shade or have stands with shade. Yeah, so not my favorite. And then last but not least, the current / sort of job I have now.
Sort of.
Well, it's like the off season, so like I only work sometimes. I don't even know. I'm not working this month currently. But I work as a bartender at a country club, and the one thing that like I really enjoy about that is like first of all you get to like hang out with the drunks and like they're fun for the most part.
Recommend.
They're fun for the most part, and like you know the regulars they get really comfortable with you, and so then they'll just like tip you a lot, like because they're like, you're my homie, here's $5 for a $2 drink, and I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna say anything.
Wow.
And then I also get to do this thing called beer cart, which is where I like literally drive around the golf course with like a cart full of beer, and I just get to like drive around a golf course and have fun and like interact with people and like sell beer out there, and then sometimes they'll be like, let's all have shots. And like we can like they'll like literally like pay me to take shots with them, and I'm like, okay, can't say no. And like,
Is it possible to drive a golf cart a bit tipsy?
you know, I'm not gonna confirm nor deny that I've done it. But like they can't get that fast. So
Okay.
like
What's the worst that can happen?
there is a lake kind of close to the golf.
Probably some
Yeah.
trees.
The worst thing that's happened is I kind of like went off the like road and I like went through this like muddy puddle and it like hit off like one of my coolers that I had, and then I had like mud all up on me, and I was like, oh yeah, maybe I need to take it easier.
Yeah.
But you know, it's kind of like a fun experience, especially like over the summer, because like you get to be outside, but you don't like have to be outside to the point where you're having a heat stroke like I was at the pool. And like same with the pool, I had to like work at like 5 a.m. sometimes, and the earliest I would ever have to get to the country club is like 8 a.m. for like a golf tournament.
Sure.
So I don't know. That's what I've had so far, but I also work as a secretary, and that's just something else. Yeah. Anyways, yeah.
So what are our takeaways? That you don't want to start too early at a job, that it's fun to be a fly on the wall, that you should have to have something that you do or it's intensely boring, that people get stuck on zip lines with some frequency, and
drunks are fun.
And drunks are fun.
Sometimes.
Drunks
Sometimes.
are most, I would argue,
Most of the time, unless they're like a mean drunk, and that's like
fair.
No, that's
There's a couple different types of drunks. So
There
like
are.
there's country club drunk and there's Denny's drunk.
Denny's drunk is usually.
I would almost argue that they're the same.
they're the same.
Yeah.
Comment what sort of drunk you are.
I'm a happy drunk.
Yeah, well, very good.
I don't drink.
So please comment, like, and subscribe, and comment and tell us what your first, best, and worst jobs were. And have a great day. Very good. Okay, good. That was fun.